I think we've all been looking forward to this one, haven't we, all day long? It looked like the standout tie of the four quarterfinals. Ronnie O'Sullivan has played Judd Trump in the final of the Northern Ireland Open for each of the last 2 years. It could yet be 3 out of 3 on Sunday, but he's got a tough match, of course, here this evening against a player who has really breezed through so far. Ding has lost only 2 frames in 4 rounds, including that 4-1 win last night over John Higgins, as he prepares for the defence of his UK title next week.
Yeah, great opening red from Ding Junhui. Needs to slow down though. Just a little too heavy. Great pot. Could have been a frame winner straight away, but looks like it's just going to be 1 point on the snooker. Well, sit back and relax and enjoy this, because everybody's been looking forward to it for so long.
Yeah, it's a real winter warmer, this one. Yeah, they played in some big tournaments, haven't they, of late? O'Sullivan beat Ding at the Masters 2019 and at the World Championship just gone. In between, Ding beat him on the way to winning the UK Championship last year. The head-to-head massively favours O'Sullivan 14-4, but there's no way he'll be taking Ding for granted. He's got huge respect for him.
Yeah, well, he's given respect to everybody so far, hasn't he, David?
Yeah, he's been very businesslike, I think, this week.
So he's bound to give it to Ding. Well, what a great attempt this is. What a great attempt. Terrific escape. And that's the red he played to hit. Well, you won't see better escapes than that one. This was an absolute belter, judged to perfection. So just the safety for Ding Junhui. But already 2 great shots from both players, long red from Ding, and that snooker escape from O'Sullivan. Most players would have been trying to get into the pack of reds there.
I think the most surprising stat of the evening is this. Ding Junhui's 14th Home Nation Series event over the years. It's his first quarter-final in them. So he's never been to the quarter-finals of a Home Nations event. Now, when you consider all the tournaments he's won, that is a surprise.
Yeah, great start that, David. See, I didn't even know that.
It suggests maybe, I guess, the best of 7s are not for him, but the good news is now it's best of 9, of course, with an interval. He has made his way through, and as I say, only lost 2 frames this week.
Well, that was a shot to play. He managed to miss the reds, which was another battle, really, that he had to do. But he has left a red on. Got very close to this pot. That's a real let-off. And I think he has left a red. Not sure what colour he can get from it. I've got a feeling he tried to kiss the red full, which would have left him on the black. If he'd have played for the blue or yellow, surely he'd have tried to get closer. But yellow it is. Good pot, and he's found the gap nicely. Delighted with that one. And this now has turned into a good chance. Black's going to be free.
I mean, obviously we talk about O'Sullivan as a break builder, but Ding as well is delightful to watch when he's scoring. He's had well over 500 centuries himself,
including 6 maximums.
Sean Murphy had his 6th last week, and World Snooker interviewed him afterwards, and they said, "Can you tell us where you had them all, Sean?" And he couldn't remember a couple of them. I mean, how sickening to be so good at snooker you can't remember when you've had maximum breaks. Most people would remember every moment of them.
Yeah, better ask Ronnie O'Sullivan as well then. If he can't remember 6, Ronnie's no chance. He's had 15.
As with any match, players looking to settle down early on. This is a big match though, obviously. 2 real big hitters of the sport. So a few nerves early on might be inevitable. Didn't look nervous on that yellow though, did he?
Big shot here though. Another terrific recovery shot. And the kiss could have been kinder. He's on the blue or the green. But the blue is not a gimme. Goes without saying that he didn't play to leave himself hampered. So playing a different red.
18.
That UK Championship win, it sort of came a little bit out of nowhere. He hadn't had the best of form going into it.
25.
And really afterwards, he didn't necessarily pull up too many trees, but in between he won the UK Championship. So that still counts as a successful season.
Well, and he played so well in it, didn't he? I mean, that was the old Ding. He really did destroy players in that. After he beat Ronnie O'Sullivan, it never looked like he was going to lose.
Yeah, it was a very good final. Maguire himself played well, but Ding finished off with a couple of centuries. Anyway, that was a year ago. Of course, we start again on Monday. But there's important business before that over the next 3 days here.
Yes, he did lose in the World Championship, Ding Junhui, but it was 13-10. So it was a good game. Didn't collapse. Ronnie had to play very well to beat him. It was a great game, actually. But I don't think the fear element is there now with Ding Junhui. At one stage he was really, I won't say afraid, but very much wary of playing O'Sullivan.
Yeah, well, in a couple of the early meetings, of course, he took a couple of heavy defeats. Masters final, first round at the Crucible. But a lot's happened since then, of course. A lot of titles have been won by both players.
Ronnie O'Sullivan did have a chance
49.
earlier. Wasn't a difficult red that he missed. We'll try and show you it in a moment. It does look as though it's going to cost him dearly. It was early doors, but you do expect
55.
Ronnie to pot those.
56.
But this is what Ding Junhui's got to do. He's got to punish any mistakes O'Sullivan makes, make him think, let him know that he isn't afraid of playing him. He is going to win frames at one visit, and that puts pressure on your opponent.
You hear though, try and pot the lot. Because O'Sullivan actually this week, he has been coming back to the table
70.
in opening frames to get table time.
71.
Maybe a cannon to pink. Beautifully played. Releases the other two reds
70.
when he pots this red. So every chance of making a century break here. And how many times do the
79.
great players do that? And no doubt about it, Ding is a great player.
It would be his third of the week, but maybe he's most timely in the first frame against O'Sullivan.
85. 86.
He's got that cue ball on a piece of string on it at the moment. It's just going exactly where he wants it to.
94.
Well, what a start. It was the O'Sullivan miss that let him in. Ding Junhui has done the rest.
101.
And still going.
103.
Great shot.
O'Sullivan will be aware that Higgins comfortably beat John Higgins last night. Sorry, that Ding comfortably beat John Higgins last night.
106.
And clearly he's playing well. Just 2 frames lost in the tournament.
$110.
He might have a bad record overall against O'Sullivan, but he's beaten him in the World Championship. He's beaten him in the UK Championship. He beat him in the old Northern Ireland Trophy as well. Forerunner to this event. That was the final.
121.
And this is a delightful start. Black stays out, so 121 to kick off proceedings here this evening. Ronnie O'Sullivan missed that red. Ding Junhui stepped in with a century. First to 5 wins. Ding leads 1-0. So Ding Junhui with an excellent start, 121 in the opening frame. O'Sullivan missed this red. And Ding stepped in, and it was a real high-quality break. First to 5 to play Ali Carter in the semi-finals. Remember, there is another match on tonight on the Eurosport app. You can watch Yan Bingtao against David Grace, and it is Grace there who's won the first frame. So another China versus England affair on table 2. Eurosport app has that live this evening.
Is it for both of them?
Some hot water has arrived for Ronnie. Well, musical chairs in terms of these mugs. Ronnie's got them all now. I think what Jimmy White said was absolutely spot on. You know, we know O'Sullivan is a great front runner, so in these early stages, Ding can't afford to fall behind, but obviously he's made a great start.
Well, there is a long red, but very dangerous to play it. Big target, the yellow and the brown, to try and get in behind. And just a little too hard. He's pushed a red out. And I've got a feeling he'll take this on, but it's very dangerous if he does. Nope, he's looking at the safety. So we've got to be careful not to leave that red on. Oh, what about that? It's a fluke. He held his hand up. Now, if it had come down to have a look at that, which he normally does. Well, it was a 3-ball plant, so it wasn't really a plant. Easy snooker if he touches the brown, but playing the more positive shot.
Yeah, ranking event quarter-final number 122. Stephen Hendry's been in 123. John Higgins 125. Big numbers. Not really a list you're interested in being top of, quarter-finals. They're here for trophies, but it just shows his longevity, I guess.
5.
And of course, like Ding, you know, he'd had quite a quiet season, really, before he won that World Championship. But again, it doesn't matter. He won it. Came good when it mattered.
And it makes it into a great season, doesn't it?
Oh.
7.
That's the only one really want to win.
Well, it's the game's true major. It stands out clearly ahead of everything else, with its history and the longer matches in particular.
8.
Just overhit it slightly, but he might decide to go into the reds. If he comes in with power, he may free the black. Didn't play to go into them. Seen something different. So right at the back of the pack there, that will go.
Many a big break has started with a fluke. We think back to 1983, Cliff Thorburn's Crucible Maximum against Terry Griffiths.
Who could ever forget that?
Well, not Terry, I wouldn't have thought, or Cliff for that matter.
Yeah.
That's the thing, it's, you know, luck comes and goes,
20.
but it's what you do with it when you get it. He potted a very good green to continue the break, get himself in.
Yeah,
21.
that's right. I mean, he could have missed the green and it could have cost him the frame, the fluke. That's what you do after the fluke, I totally agree. I think he's one of the few players, O'Sullivan, where he doesn't think about luck. He accepts that you get it sometimes and sometimes you don't. And he accepts both.
27.
Oh, that didn't go according to plan, but maybe just a little screw shot between the reds for the pink into the left middle. He doesn't have to play that shot. Could play around for the blue.
Not
Quite on the pink as he wanted. Tough pink to the corner, and he's going to be leaving reds on if he misses it. Yeah, couldn't have got any closer.
Ronnie,
But there was pressure on the shot because he knows that Ding's playing well, and he didn't want to leave him an easy chance like this. So Ding with another chance. Not an easy table by any means.
1.
And if you just look at his positional play, it's absolutely spot on at the moment. It's just the speed of this table perfectly so far. You'd like to bring the black into play as soon as possible, especially with the pink being out of play as well. And that
7.
wasn't what he intended. Now, a couple of ways of playing this. He could just play for the red by the pink spot, or he could try and bring the black into play. I think that's what he was intending there for a second. Lots of right-hand side was going on the cue ball. Now change of plan.
I think Alan, as usual, made a very good point about the defeats he's had this season. They've all been to top players: Mark Selby, John Higgins, Neil Robertson in previous events. So, you know, no disgrace in any of that. He's quietly been playing well, I think, Ding. Just looking to extend his run in a tournament to get to a final. Looking to open things up here. Would have loved the black to have
18.
come free.
This time, just a little short. Still got the red that's closest to the left corner if he just drops it in.
24.
Just a bit of shoe leather on this cue ball, having to travel the course back up for the blue each time.
Made sure of being the right side of the blue. Now, again, he could play the cannon to the red and black, but doesn't like the blue. The green, he could get to the red that's just above and to the left of the black. Finish high on it, he could bring the black into play. Well, he could have done with being a little bit closer to the red. He can still get the shot I was describing. Cannon to red brings the black into play. Oh, what a beautiful shot. That could be the winning shot of this frame. He doesn't need that difficult pink. What a delightful shot that was. Watch this again. He's come round the back of the back with just a touch of left-hand side on the cue ball. You play too much side, you miss the cannon.
37.
It was O'Sullivan, of course, who had the fluke, but later missed that pink.
45.
Yep, sometimes you see the flukes don't win your frames. And that's why, when you sat in your chair, you shouldn't be bemoaning the fact that O'Sullivan's had a bit of luck, because it can all change and your mind has got to be prepared to punish.
Red and the black should do it.
53.
Well, that was missable and he made sure of the red. Doesn't have to play position here.
Well, this is good stuff from Ding. He looks very relaxed, but at the same time very determined this evening.
60.
And the key thing is he's punishing O'Sullivan mistakes. He punished the miss red in the first frame, he's punished the miss pink in this frame.
You can tell he hasn't got that fear factor of O'Sullivan anymore. He believes he can win, make no mistake about that.
65.
And bring the pink off here. Wants them all.
69.
Fascinating start. It was always a match we were going to look forward to. Most popular player in China versus, I guess, the most popular player in the whole world. But it is
74.
China's Ding Junhui who's made by far the better start here. 121 the break in the first frame.
Oh, look at the side on the cue ball.
80.
And now it checks. Beautiful shot again.
O'Sullivan's got problems here. Ding is playing seriously well. Excellent.
87.
Excellent clearance of 87. O'Sullivan knows he's going to have to cut out these misses because Ding is in the mood to punish. He leads the quarter-final by 2 frames to 0. I guess the concern for Ronnie O'Sullivan is not just the scoreline, 2-0 down, it's how Ding has got there. 121, 87. That was the missed pink from O'Sullivan. Of course, he'd got the look earlier on, but the break ended there. That was a beautiful shot from Ding, wasn't it, to get on the black, free the black. And he looks really confident, and he knows if he can win at least one more frame before the interval, he will have some sort of lead. It could yet be 4-0. We'll see. O'Sullivan with the chance to pull it back to 2-2, but he's got to cut out the misses. It's also 1-1 on table 2. Yambing Town, David Grace. The winner there plays Judd Trump. The winner of this one, of course, plays Ali Carter.
Wonderful pot. He's got it between his teeth, hasn't he? Absolute cracker again. Full of confidence.
Eight. Ding Junhui, 8.
Well, I guess that's the first big error, really. Unexpected miss, considering how well he's played so far this evening.
One.
Well, let's see how significant that miss is. O'Sullivan's missed
4.
pots have been significant for him. He's more than capable, of course, of returning fire.
5.
More reds could be coming into play. Doesn't want it to bounce. Oh, now can he cue it? I'd have fancied him for the black if this red hadn't have bounced. He can get to it. But it made it a little bit more difficult.
Sullivan, 13.
So that missed red, in the end, only cost him 13 points.
One.
Yeah, good shot. Had to play it at speed to come out for the black. Oh, another very aggressive shot. I didn't think he had to play it, and it doesn't look as though he's on anything easy. The two reds to the right of the pink were available, other reds were. What's he looking at here? Surely not. Well, that shows you how confident he's feeling. But surely this is going to cost him.
One.
Yes,
Very
I mean, there was
risky plant, wasn't it?
Well, there was some distance between. You can see it better from that shot. The distance between the two reds. And he would know that you guarantee to leave the lot on were he to miss, which is what's happened.
8.
Just shows you how he's feeling though.
9.
Well, everyone has their favourite players, but I don't think anyone would really mind if this went the distance tonight between these two greats of the game. First things first, O'Sullivan's got to get on the scoreboard.
Feel a lot better if he does.
23.
He's had a couple of really good chances this frame, Ding Junhui, but for me, he didn't really need to go into that pack of reds last time round. Maybe the boys will have a look at that in the interval.
29.
But there was reds he could have played for.
30.
Yep, he was very unfortunate not to be on one.
37. 38.
So the black to lead by 42, 59 on.
A
couple more reds should secure his first frame of the night.
46.
Jimmy White said at the start, and he was right, that Ding would have to be at least 2-2 with O'Sullivan. But of course, if it's 2-2 now, he'll be a bit disappointed, I think. The way he's played, he's rather given this frame away, taking that plant on. If it goes in, then
52.
they're all his.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
58 then. To lead by 55 with 43 on. And Ding has seen enough. Well, he's played very confidently and took that plant on, but he knew missing it, he was leaving them on. O'Sullivan closes to 2-1. So Ding was on top, he was playing well, he was feeling good, but things turned around in that last frame. This is where he decided to go into the reds rather than pick them off. Wasn't left with anything easy, took that plant on. You saw from that second replay the distance between the reds, and I'm sure when he missed it, he must have thought, I'm in trouble here, and indeed Ronnie won the frame from it.
Yeah, I did say before he took the plant on, I said, away. But that's what he's feeling. He's feeling so confident at the moment that he doesn't think he can miss anything.
Well, it's not the worst way to be, I guess, but he did lose the frame. Anyway, this is the last before the interval. We've only been going 36 minutes in this match. Ding leads 2-1. Still one each on the other table between Yan Bingtao and David Grace.
Well, he's stuck another one on. That's a very risky one as well, because he knew he was always leaving the red to the right corner, even if he didn't leave the red he was playing on. You can be overconfident as well sometimes.
One.
Chose to play for the black. Now, is he too hard? Well, it looked very, very tight. But he's got eyes like an eagle.
8. Nine. $14.
Well, we often identify turning points, and the last frame there was a pretty obvious one.
15.
Because O'Sullivan had been struggling a little, hadn't he? Been missing a few. He needed really a straightforward chance, and he got it.
$20. $21.
Well, with a little bit more angle, he might have gone into the reds there. Still did. Trying to develop 2 or 3 more.
28. $29.
Both of these reds, both sides of the pink will go. Handy to be able to use his left hand as well.
To think of all the fuss when he first started doing that there was. People complaining. Alain Robidoux, lovely guy Alain, he didn't like it when Ronnie played against him left-handed at the Crucible. Mainly because he beat him easily, I suspect. Well, he's missed that one.
Oh, and what a kiss. That's left Ding Junhui right in amongst the reds. And they're all there for the taking. He reckons he got a kick. I wouldn't disagree with him. So unfortunate to have got a kick at such a vital stage. It was going so well.
Well, I think this is a key moment in the whole match now.
1.
They're all there for Ding, who's already played well. We know he's confident, but he's got to put them away. And if he does, it's not only the 2-frame lead, it's the psychological advantage he takes into the interval.
$8.
Because it seemed like things had turned in O'Sullivan's favour. Of course, they can turn back again. Have more than one turning point in a match.
9.
Well,
14.
he did play to bring the red off the cushion, but he expected to hit it fuller. This is ultra thin.
Ding Junhui, 14.
I think he's just making some poor decisions at the moment. Ding Junhui, there was no need to bring that red off the cushion. Could have got him behind the red to be able to pot it.
1.
But he gave it a chance to happen, and it happened.
Well, he could be 4-0 up, but it's looking more likely 2-2 now. Yeah, I mean, they could not have been sat better, really, but
6.
it went wrong, and he caught it far too thin, the red. Barely moved, actually.
7.
But I think his first shot, he tried to bring the red off the right side cushion and missed it. And then again, he brought that red off the left side cushion. But why? I don't understand why. I think he could have won the frame with the loose reds.
Well,
I'm not sure without counting up.
13.
Ding was faced with an ultra thin shot. In fact, I did say I'm not sure if it's cuttable. Well, he overcut it.
Yeah. 19.
Yeah, it is. Look at that. He did. He overcut it.
20.
He must surely feel he should be in front at the interval. And he's got that to think about in the 15 minutes. O'Sullivan delighted to get back to the table.
25.
Sets it up nicely for the rest of us watching,
26.
of course.
It's a very fine margin, really. You know, confidence and overconfidence. And we've all been there, especially some of the more natural players like Jimmy. You know, you get to a stage where you just don't think you can miss, and you start going for just one or two that you shouldn't do. And it certainly cost him 2 frames. He went into the pack in the last frame, and he didn't need to. And in this frame, he's knocked a red off the cushion that he didn't need to. Or if you're going to play it off the cushion, then play it more slowly.
39.
Yeah, O'Sullivan hasn't had to
40.
work for the openings that have won in these 2 frames. He's been handed them. But as I say, it sets it up nicely. He'll be delighted with 2 each, I'm sure, because Ding has played really well. Breaks 120, 187 to start. Could have won the last frame.
46.
Certainly could have won this one. I guess he's got to try and stay positive when they return in 15
47.
minutes. It's not taken long, this. 45 minutes for the 4 frames.
$54. 56.
So plenty of incident
59.
so far this evening. $59,
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
the break from
59.
Ronnie O'Sullivan. I'm sure
And the frame.
grateful to get another chance in this 4th frame. Ding has looked very confident, and he'll feel, I think, he should be in front. But at the interval, we're all square here. It's 2-2.
Frame 5. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, undoubtedly, O'Sullivan will be the happier of the 2, having trailed 2-0. He missed a couple of balls. They were heavily punished by Ding, who looked very good in taking that 2-0 lead. But how much has his failure to convert the chance to take a 3-1 interval advantage going to affect him in the second half of this match? O'Sullivan bringing a red up off the break. How many times have we seen that in the last few seasons, but not punished? Equally, Ding could have left that red. He hasn't done, which is why he apologised.
Yeah, it's everything to play for now. Very interesting first 4 frames, of which Ding Junhui probably should have won 3 of them, you know, and that would have been a handy lead. But of course, we start all over again now. These two are both good enough to put anything that's gone before aside. One thing for sure, Ding is definitely playing a lot better as he was about this time last year. You know, UK Championship came out of nowhere. Nothing really has come since, but whether he's been putting extra time in on the practice table, but he looks like a different proposition once again. This is the Ding we want to see more of.
It's been mentioned that he's only conceded 2 frames in getting to this quarter-final. And the most eye-catching of those results, of course, was to see off John Higgins 4-1. Higgins had been playing some great stuff this week, but Ding was too strong for him. I think Joe Johnson made a good point before the interval that Ding, I don't think, has that fear factor about O'Sullivan now. Yes, his overall record is modest, 14 losses to 4 wins, but a lot of those wins that Ding has achieved have been very significant ones. The World Championship 3 years ago, of course last year UK Championship, which was really the catalyst for him finding his very best form to win that title for a 3rd time. And of course he beat O'Sullivan in a ranking event final as well, way back the Northern Ireland Trophy. So the wins he has had have been landmark victories for Ding. And I think he now knows he can beat him. Whether he will tonight remains to be seen. But O'Sullivan has missed a few. Not happy with that one. You'd have expected him to get it.
Yeah, they affect you when you miss those. You head across that one, straight shot, and sometimes the straight shots are more of the examination of your technique. How you're hitting them, the other shots.
1.
Well, he was able to punish O'Sullivan's missed pots in the first 2 frames very effectively. Can he do so now? Get his nose back in front.
8.
Carter, of course, awaits the winner in the semi-finals tomorrow after his comeback victory over Kurt Mafflin, 5-3.
9.
And of course, Judd Trump awaits the winner of the match on the Eurosport app right now. David Grace still 2-1 up on Yan Bingtao. Pretty early stages of the 4th frame. Oh dear, black off its spot goes astray for Ding.
Yeah, and he's knocked actually a red in front of one that was available, so he hasn't actually necessarily done a lot of damage there. A minute, it looked like there was going to be a red available to the left corner, but the 2 reds have joined up, basically. Missing a black off the spot isn't going to make him feel any good. No, is that a plant? No, is the answer. Even though he may have thought it was one.
O'Sullivan hasn't always necessarily played his finest snooker this week, but what he has done is really grit his teeth when things have got scrappy and awkward. He's given absolute maximum application to every match he's played. Of course, Elliot Slessor has been something of a hoodoo player for him in the past, and every shot was a pint of blood, but O'Sullivan got the job done. No one could accuse him of not giving full commitment this week in his bid to reach his third consecutive Northern Ireland Open final, of course, having been deprived the title the past 2 years in the title match by Judd Trump. Just feel as though Ding has lost his way.
Well, I mean, that's the worst double kiss you can ever get. When the red flies back up and takes a cue ball down the table, the cue ball was meant to head into bulk. When the red comes back and whacks it up and down, which is a very infuriating thing to happen. It's happened to everyone at some point.
One.
Ronnie's got to read the signs here. He was
6.
struggling early on into the match. Ding was playing better. Mr. Pink in frame 2 O'Sullivan, which cost him the frame, and you think, well, okay, the standard's going to be high tonight.
7.
A little bit of left hand, a little trace of left hand side to get around that pink ball. But now that he's got level, Ding looks a little bit rattled. Now he's got to press on.
Fourteen. $15. 20. 21. 25. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 25.
So Ding's error on the long red, not proving too expensive.
Yeah, certainly O'Sullivan missed a trick there, didn't he? Not getting the bunch open off the brown. Good shot.
1.
Played obviously with an eye on getting the cue ball back down the table. He's finishing the place where he's probably got to play the roll up, which is very much his second option. Very clean pot. But really, where he's finished,
Yes,
the roll only shot he could play. It's not the sort of shot he wants to play when he's in that sort of mode where he's looking to pull away in a match. Very dangerous way of playing. I'm not sure how he could get that safe. First of all, I thought he was going to hit the pink, and then when he didn't hit the pink, it just looked like he was going to just go into the reds in a bad angle. There were not many options there, I admit that.
You just get the feeling that Ding's concentration levels aren't quite where they need to be at the moment, and that could well be a hangover from his failure to win that fourth frame and take a 3-1 lead, which would have given him control of the match. As it is, he had to start all over again. I mean, if you'd offered him 2-all before the match started at the interval, he'd have probably taken it, but given the way things went in that mini session, he'll feel as though he limited the advantage which he didn't get.
Well, this shot, I mean, the speed he's gone into the red just below the pink. I'm not sure how he could have been sure of leaving that safe. I know that it was a difficult shot to play, but I reckon he either hits the pink or sticks one almost every time there, going that way.
Either way, it's a great chance for O'Sullivan, you would think, to win his third frame on the bounce.
12.
He really, unless he plays on the bottom red, he wants to be on the right side of the pink as we look below it from that angle. That's where all the balls will pop.
18.
Yeah, well, that's the red that he looked at the last time and played the one above it, but clearly it goes, as you can see. Crucially, he dropped his chalk there, just in his eye line, but carried on with the shot. So, on the brink, colour, there will be black, of course, and one more red, and he strikes the front. So that would be pleasing for him, given that he was 2-0 down, and Ding looked $1 million. UK form from last year was there. And of course Ding is still in the match at 3-2 down, but I think we've all made the observation that he doesn't look quite as focused as he did at the start of the match.
40.
2-2 on the other table, by the way. Yan Bingtao has levelled things up with David Grace. They're off for the cup of tea in a quarter of an hour.
Ding wondering how this match has got away from him somewhat after that blistering start, 121 and 87, punishing O'Sullivan's 2 potting errors with frame-winning breaks. And the fourth frame taking on ever greater significance as O'Sullivan finds his way right back into the match
56.
And now into the lead. His third half-century. Modest by his standards, but very effective nonetheless. That was a lovely cued shot, albeit that the frame has long since won.
61.
And now Ding has got to come again. He's got to really dig deep. He knows his form is there. He's proved it all week. He's proved it tonight.
65.
But coming from behind against O'Sullivan is one of the tougher asks in the game of snooker.
70.
Jimmy mentioned that O'Sullivan is probably the greatest front runner of all time, and I don't think many would disagree. It is just the one frame difference, of course, so this match is far from done. But O'Sullivan is definitely in the ascendancy now and with the momentum as he wins his third straight frame. Ding may be still thinking about how he lost the fourth as he trails 3-2. One or two signs maybe that the disappointment of not taking a 3-1 interval lead continues to linger for Ding. It was a loose shot, wasn't it, in trying to get out of the snooker.
Thank you.
And O'Sullivan made him pay with a break of 70.
Junhui to break.
So O'Sullivan has 3 on the bounce. He's 2 away from a semi-final meeting with Ali Carter. Ding Junhui needs to dig deep now. This is a big frame for him. 4-2 down, that's a big ask against O'Sullivan.
Yes, and one thing we know about Ding Junhui, he's very capable of winning this match still. He's beaten O'Sullivan before. He beat him in the UK almost 12 months ago. You know, but how deep does he really want to dig? And that's what we might have to find out. He might not get a chance from here, don't get me wrong. It might not matter, but the likelihood is at some point he will. Give us the chance to show us if he's up for this real fight now, taking it to the next level. That's a good shot. I mean, it's one of those, on these fast cloths, you've almost got to play to leave it short to hit the green as close up as that. It's not the most difficult escape. Ding, heavy-handed again. Oh, it's gone wrong again, hasn't it? That's 2 now. That was easier than the last escape, but really wasn't quite basic, but I didn't really see Ronnie getting a shot from it. Not really. He went into the bunch a bit heavy-handedly.
It was a delicate touch from O'Sullivan, wasn't it, in nestling the cue ball right on the green. I think Mark Williams, who's arguably the best exponent of that shot in the game, would have been proud of that one. And it has reaped potentially very big rewards now that Ding has left a red on for O'Sullivan.
They got him so far in behind it, Philip, that I mean, it didn't have sort of access to both sides of the table to get to the reds. So you're right. I mean, the roll-ups are not difficult when you're close to them. Anyway, that's a nice cannon, and the next shot will be through the bunch. So Ronnie
14.
bringing out all the shots in break building here.
15.
Well, this is where he is the undisputed master. Ordinarily,
$22.
pretty modest start for the reigning world champ to this season, of course. Lost to Aaron Hill, the new Irish professional, in the second round of the European Masters. Didn't play in the Championship League. Last 32 at the English Open, where he was well beaten by Matthew Stevens. Of course, he avenged that loss here. Convincingly beaten by Mark Allen in the Champion of Champions, but he's begun to fire this week, albeit that at times he's relied on his application more than his brilliance to get through, but that's not gone as he would have hoped.
No, the split didn't work for once. Neither has that gone to plan.
O'Sullivan 28.
Willing the red to stop. As it stopped, I think it may have done, to the point where Ding cannot get to it to pot it. Ding is just getting down and playing the shots a little bit quickly for my liking. Just a little bit as if to say, well, okay, I'm a bit disappointed with how things are going. Not maybe knuckling down. It's just getting that sense that he's walking to the table, playing his shot and walking away a little bit nonchalantly. Or pointedly, I'm not sure. Take that little nudge, that might change his perspective on the match. Of course not played. Now Ronnie's got the same problem that Ding has had a couple of times, just getting into the bunch. Bit of a better effort than the ones we've seen in the last frame or so. Bottom red. The left, I don't think is a realistic potting option to the left middle. It is a thin one. Doing here? Double perhaps. Yeah, playing the double. Fairly safe shot. Couldn't stick one for sure.
Temperamentally, Ding is way stronger now than he was at times in the fledgling part of his pro career. Of course, he played in the 2007 Masters final against O'Sullivan when he was still a teenager. A wild card for that event. O'Sullivan not happy with that one. And, well, he got a bit of stick from the crowd when he started to struggle in that match. He didn't handle it very well. In fact, he was ready to end the final a frame early, thinking it was the first to 9, not 10. He's come on leaps and bounds in terms of his resilience since then, of course. Much older and wiser. That's a good pot. And a proven winner on the big stage, of course. 3 UK titles and Masters, a world finalist and
3.
a genuine superstar in his native China.
Last shot well, Philip. That was very well played on that bottom red.
4.
So now, can he fight back in the same way that Ronnie had to? It's only a frame down. Lost a little bit of his mojo. Ultimately, a chance like this, you'd say, would be a very good one for Ding.
Yeah, you could see the frustration on O'Sullivan's face at leaving Ding that long red when he was beginning to get right on top of him. So this is a really important visit for Ding Junhui, just to try and recapture the fluency he showed in dominating the first 2 frames. And I think that expression says it all. O'Sullivan may feel he's let Ding off the hook there.
11.
I think for the neutral, 3-3 would be great fun, wouldn't it? From here, best of 3 for placing semi-final.
$18.
See, someone like Ding is overdue to have a run in one of these home nations events, the ones that he's played in. Not absolutely all of them. He's got a pretty woeful record, someone of his standard. But
24.
Yeah, he'd never won a match in this Northern Ireland Open before this tournament. Didn't enter on a couple of occasions.
25.
Well, they're all there, but there's pressure on all of them. What a big frame for Ding Junhui. And he's missed the red. Goodness me.
Ding Junhui, do it. 32.
Not a good sign. Not dissimilar to the one that China missed last night.
It's the contrast, isn't it, between the form he showed in the first two frames
1.
and his struggles now as O'Sullivan sinks that red.
Seven. Eight.
He's got to play one good positional shot here. Oh, he's flicked the yellow. Might mean the cue ball race is a bit far down. No. A little fortunate there. The yellow was not part of the plan, hitting that.
16. Twenty-two.
So big moment here. Chance to get this frame won.
23.
Not an easy shot to get from green up to red. No. Frame's not over, by no means.
26.
Might have been a bit old school there, but there was surely an argument to drop down to a bit lower where the cue ball is and then get the guaranteed snooker behind the black.
Ding O'Sullivan, 26.
Playing on the red. Might be the only way he could have lost the frame there. Anyway, that's played a good shot there.
Well, the significance of this frame now is seismic. What a difference between 4-2 and a fourth straight frame for O'Sullivan, and Ding somehow managing to pinch it to level again and give him renewed hope and confidence, which seems to be lacking right now. Missed that straightforward red just now into the left centre. But at least he's won a reprieve of sorts. He's still in this frame.
Not the kind of contact on that he was looking for. He's been very lucky there. He's hanging on by a thread. 4-2 down, I wouldn't fancy him all that much. But the score isn't 4-2 yet. The table is very open for whoever pots the next red.
think when Ding struck his previous shot, he feared the worst, that he'd left O'Sullivan straightforward chance for 4-2. Will that prove to be some sort of turning point? A red and a high value colour would be enough for O'Sullivan. There's the red.
One.
Great pot.
He was not really going into a very good position. Now he's got to make a decision. These are the kind of ticklish ones as a player. Really, if he goes for a colour, it's the only way he can lose the frame. This is it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Not this deft touch on these little shots. Honestly, that is not such an easy shot. Sullivan made that look. Well, when he plays it like that, there can be no decision. It was clearly the only shot.
And Ding has got to hit this. He's 24 behind.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Calamity. In off, easy yellow for O'Sullivan. Snooker's already needed. And it's going to be 4 on the bounce, and it's all gone horribly wrong for Ding since
2.
that 4th frame, which he might well have won. On the balance of play, he would certainly have merited a 3-1 lead, but he couldn't quite convert it, and it does seem to have affected
5.
him. Quite a few errors since then. Well, this
9.
match still isn't over, of course. Ding perfectly capable of winning 3 on the bounce, but how is he feeling between the ears right now? Not too great, I fancy.
14.
No, Sullivan doing what he does so effectively, punishing errors. And now on the cusp of another
20. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Egypt semi-final. Doesn't bother with the black, doesn't need to. O'Sullivan's won 4 in a row, and Ding Junhui has lost his way after a terrific start to this match. What's he got left? He trails 4-2. Welcome back. It feels like a long time ago that Ding was making those two big breaks in the first 2 frames, 1-2-1 and 87, and he had a great chance for 3-1. Look at the state of the table here, but in cutting this red, it was thin, but nowhere near that thin. And if there was one shot that has turned a match around, it's that one, because since then, he's just not looked the same player, having to try and absorb the disappointment of missing that chance for 3-1 at the interval. He had the 15 minutes to dwell on it. And since he's come out after that mid-session break, he's just not looked the same player. He's made quite a few errors, both safety and with his potting. He missed a straightforward red just now when he was looking good to potentially level at 3-all. And O'Sullivan is on the cusp of his 78th ranking semi-final. Just 1 more required. And if Ding could win from here, given everything that's happened, well, I think it would be one of the best victories of his glittering career.
Yes, I don't think O'Sullivan has played all that well tonight, really. I mean, you never know what he'll say if he was to win. He might say he's played out of his skin, but it doesn't look like it to me. I suspect if he comes through this match, he might think that he'll need to improve if he's going to win this. Anyway, he's only 4-2 up. He's not there yet. It's not that he's played badly, but he has given chances. The stiffer the opposition, the less chance they are to miss them.
Another ordinary safety from Ding. Sullivan with a chance to get his hand on the table in addressing this long red. He's looking a bit sorry for himself, and no wonder. But not punished on this occasion.
Not close. Can be frustrating, Ding, can't he? You know what a player he is. His record speaks for itself. A bit inconsistent these days.
One.
And this time O'Sullivan does punish. Beautifully struck red. Yes, it just feels as though quite a bit of the fight has gone out of Ding Junhui.
Eight.
Yeah, that was a nice shot. Very patchy performance from O'Sullivan, but there's always going to be good shots in there. It's hard to
Nine.
think there ever will be a day when there isn't, really. A little bit of stun on this to get low enough to get on that bottom red. Now the next objective, of course, is
14.
the obvious, really, getting this bunch of 11 reds in there. I think there is open. Don't think that
15.
bottom red goes from that angle. I thought it was just covered by the rest of the bunch, so he'll have to get into them here.
$22.
Might be able to see that one at range up into the green pocket. He might play it in that if he screws up for the brown, then the only red he can leave should he miss it, and of course, let's be honest, he could miss it, would be the red he's playing. He might play this a little cagey.
23.
Well, he played it cagey, but he potted it anyway. Pinged that, didn't he? And all of a sudden, his long game seems to have returned.
This is the beginning of the end for Ding Junhui.
27.
Get the feeling that so many times with O'Sullivan, with looking for the sort of Is it the end?
20.
Is he coming to the end? Well, actually, he is the current world champion, which he won only in August, so clearly he's nowhere near that. But, you know, get a couple of defeats, which he's had this season. Lost to a teenager, Aaron Hill. And people said, oh, well, you know, how's he getting on? 45 in a, well, next week, I think it is, week after next. But he is the world champion. He's the man, still.
34.
We've spoken ad nauseum about it, but it is the remarkable longevity of O'Sullivan. First UK title, first ranking title, 27 years ago. And fast forward to 2020, and he's still at his best. The man to beat. There have been plenty of other great players in the game, but none that have been able to stay at the top for as long as O'Sullivan has, or anywhere near it.
Tell you what, he nearly missed that. He really forced an angle and prodded the black off
41.
the opposite jaw, really, to what you'd expect him to.
42.
Well, this frame is at his mercy now, and with it, a semi-final spot.
He's surveying the table here. Obviously, those reds down the centre all blocking each other off. He hopes a chance is going to come his way.
Not a scoreline that looked likely when Ding outplayed O'Sullivan to lead 2-0 and was cueing so nicely, looking confident, looking as though he
47.
thoroughly believed he was going to win.
40.
Things have gone quite badly awry since then. Certainly one of his better home nations performances in getting to the quarterfinals. In fact, not one of the better ones, the best one, but he'll be
55.
disappointed that it's ended like this, if indeed this is to be the denouement.
56. $63. 64.
Almost there. Rain ball, and then the next red after it will sign and seal this match. So he's done well, O'Sullivan, from 2-0 down. Has to be said, because Ding Junhui was playing well. Playing almost in that UK form from last year. Of course, he beat O'Sullivan. Ding's game has gone backwards. Ronnie's improved, but not. He's not absolutely blown him away here. Just done what he had to do. Setting up an interesting clash with Ali Carter. I'd say that he would have to play a little better in that match, I think, to beat Ali. Not a foregone conclusion that O'Sullivan will win that.
79.
Can't wait. Should be a cracker. Their first meeting since their notable Crucible encounter a couple of years ago.
79. Frame and match.
From 2-0 down, Ronnie O'Sullivan has given Ding a bit of a caning. Now he has to get Carter. He is into his 78th ranking semi-final with 5 frames on the bounce to win 5-2.